Hello, let's play a bunch of daily word games. Today's bonus game is Word500. This time I made sure the capture is correct, so we don't have to edit it out. Anyway, so let's start with crypt, because it's like the clues are encrypted. Wow, nothing from crypt. It's like I didn't even hit enter. That's one of the weirdest things about the Dordle interface. There's a lot of weird things about it, but the weirdest is that grays are just black instead of gray. Like, they have a gray for the keyboard. They could use that. Anyway. Okay, common letters, S, N, L, E. Let's do snail. Pretty good. I'm going to look for an LI word for the right. Maybe the ending in E. I'm kind of running out of letters before the L. I could do glide, though. That's not bad. Interesting. I think we might be able to figure out this left word. Like Lein, maybe? I don't think there's a word for that. So El something in, Elvin? Elfin. Okay. And then Li something E? Or maybe like I second and then like end in LE or something like that. I thought of bilge, but there's no G. But like something along those lines might be good. There's always the one word in Dordle, if not both, that is just like, what is this? Li something E. Le. I'm just saying le. Like ILLE? Like villa, but with an E instead of an A. Bilv. Bible. Figured it out. Bible is always hard. Such a hard word to think of. All right. The Elfin Bible. Haven't read that one. Or is that just Lord of the Rings? Probably more like the Similarian, right? Is that how you say it? I've only seen it written. All right, let's do Fibble. Each word has a lie in it. Otherwise, it works like Wordle. But that makes a big difference. So usually I like to think the positive information is positive for my second guess, just to try to catch out some lies. Because if you assume the positive information is negative, then you have a harder chance catching lies because you're doing new letters. But I think it would mean I have to do an INER word. And I think that's fine. I think that's finer. All right, so this is actually really good because there's a lie between these I's. This is why I said use all the positive information you can. There's a lie between these two I's. Because there's a lie here or both, that means that I can't have both of these be lying. And I can't have both of these be lying. And I can't have both of these be lying. And I can't have just one of them be lying because that means the other one by nature has to be lying. So that means all of this is correct. Every single one of these is correct. So I'm of a mind to think that these are the lies. Because otherwise, I would need to do F something NEI. That's not going to happen. So let's just do a word with NE here and all new letters, I suppose. What would do that? We're assuming there's not another N. Because if there was another N, I'd have to also include an I. And it doesn't nowhere for that I to go. Unless finnin is a word. If finnin were a word, that would actually work, but it's not. So I'm not going to do it. Maybe an NED word? Most ED words aren't on the answer list for Wordle, but Fibble has an expanded answer list. I'm never sure what's on it. How about like an A, N, E, and just anything? Or an O-N-E? Is O-N-E better? I'm having a tough time. I don't know why. I mean, I could guess something like caned. I just don't think it would be an answer, but I guess let's do it. All right, so this N is the lie. So it is A-N-E. I mean, we're basically solving a Wordle at this point. Panel. I don't know why I didn't think of panel before. There it is. I probably could have gotten panel in 3. I don't think caned really gave me any useful information other than it wasn't an ED word, so it got it out of my head. But cool. I think I could have gotten panel in 3. But 4 is still good. I still like 4. And really it is 3 because it started us with inner. So some people consider this to be in 3, in which case I could have gotten it in 2. I still could have gotten in 1 fewer guess either way. But all right, how'd you do? All right, let's do Betweenle. I'm going to start with mouse. Okay, so what this is telling us, this orange dot is kind of in the middle of this line. So it's telling us that we're kind of halfway between the start of the dictionary and mouse. So if you were to lay out all the 5-letter words in the dictionary in alphabetical order, and then you found where mouse was, between the start and mouse, we'd be like halfway down, halfway through. So for the first letter, I kind of just assume that the starting letter is about evenly distributed, but we are a little bit bottom heavy near the start of the alphabet. So because there's a bunch of like letters like J near the end that kind of skew things down. So exactly halfway between A and M would be around, like if we look at our little handy guide down here, be around the G. But I think we should go all the way to E, and we should do a late E word. So something like enter, it's not that late, but it's okay. Perfect. Okay, so now this orange dot's really high up, right? So between enter and mouse, if we were to make our dictionary just between those, we're pretty close to enter. We're 3.7% of all words away from enter and pretty far from mouse. So I'm thinking about starting with F. Maybe G. Maybe I'll start with G, but an early G? Is there like a gamer or something like that? That should work fine. Okay, great. Okay, so now we're a little bit closer to gamer, but that probably just means we're like a late F, like, I don't know, frame or something. Great. Okay, so we need to go a little bit earlier than frame, but we almost certainly start with F at this point. Like, do I want to do FO or FI? I think if I did an FI, it would definitely be a lower bound. I think FL is a nice middle ground there. We could do, flame comes to mind. It really doesn't matter at this point because I'm just trying to fish out the second letter mostly. Interesting. Okay, so flame went up. That's a little bit surprising to me, but there's a lot of FL words. So I think we do start with FL, and we're just like, I mean, I could just continue the ME ending and do flume, and then we'll get a nice bound there. Yeah. All right, closer to flume. So I'm going to say FLO at this point. Let's do floor. Okay. Wow, we are very close to floor, but before floor, so we can't be like flower, right? Because that's after floor. Certainly FLO. Like we're basically like 0.01%, so we're basically the word right before flow. So flora, so probably flood then, right? There we go. Nice. Okay, got it an 8. How'd you do? Let's play Word500. So the way this game works is it's like Wordle. It's actually basically Mastermind, if you're familiar with that. But it's like Wordle, but instead of getting the... In fact, let me enter a word here. Let's start with stare. So instead of getting... in this case, we know they're all red, so this is a bad example. But instead of getting the exactly which colors are green, yellow, and red, we get the counts. But because this ended up having a count of 5 reds, it is all red, and red meaning not in the word. So let's just follow up with cloud. Wow. Okay, so it is an anagram of cloud because there are 2 greens and 3 yellows. This might not be the best demonstration of how to play this game. So we just have to mix up cloud. How do we do that? So 2 letters are in place. So we could be something like cold, but that's not a word. Oh no, that is could. Could is a word. What am I talking about? All right. That's okay. That was so quick. This game can be okay. Here's what I'm going to do. I played that on advanced difficulty. I'm going to do the standard also. So I'm going up to my difficulties here. I'm changing it to standard. It's this yellow face here instead of the red. There's actually 3 dailies a day. Let's start with stare again. Oh my gosh. Okay, let's do cloud. 2 greens in cloud. So at this point, like we already have A and E out of the word. So I'm going to assume that both of our vowels are in until proven otherwise. Now, the thing about this difficulty is we know that letters never repeat in the yellow difficulty. In the red difficulty, you can get repeat letters all day. So we always want to do unique letters here. I'm trying to think how we would do an OU here. Maybe we don't. Maybe I should do like the LO instead. Because getting that L second is going to be really helpful. How would we? We can't repeat the O in this difficulty. Otherwise, I'd think like flume or something. Floom. You know what? You know what would work though? CL at the start for those being green, and then just do cling. Interesting. Okay, so we don't know this for sure, but I'm going to assume we got one of these CLs correct as green. I'm going to assume it's the L at this point, which means that I did not get the C correct. And then one of these letters is new and is yellow, and one of these letters has to be green. So is there like an LOI or something? I don't see that. Or FLOU. No, OU wouldn't work. I mean, it could be like GLO, like glowy. Glowy's not a word? I thought glowy was a word. GLO. So if I do GLO, that bites the G yellow and the O green, right? So that fulfills our clues. But at the same time, I can't finish this word. Because we can't be like glove or anything. There's no E. I guess the C could be correct. What does it look like if I make the C correct? Now, if you double click the Word500 logo at the top, it resets back to just the information about 5 reds, which is really nice. So let's bring these C's in and say there's no L. And I definitely probably would want this O in, which means no U or D. And then would I want the I or would I want the N or G? Let's think about, so maybe like CHO. If I use the G, it would be here. If I use the N, it would be here. I don't like any of those. Okay. C. What if there was a different green here? What if we had like an I here? Well, here's the problem. I'm kind of out of vowels. I really do need to use these vowels. Could it be the U in place? CI something U something? That really doesn't look like a word, does it? Okay, I'm gonna reset again. I don't think we have the C in. If we don't have the L in either, then that means that like the O and the U was correct, and then we just now gonna bring in like the IN or G with it. Or maybe the D was correct, but like, is there just like an OUN word? It's actually hard to make a word like this. Or like a N something. I don't think it would be OU in that case. So maybe it would be the D here. What about like ending in OND? Oh no, the N can't be fourth because it's yellow. Oh wait, we have a yellow and a green here. Wait. Having the CL out actually, it would force the, yeah, okay. Actually, this might be okay. It would force O's. Oh, I can't talk today. It forces OND. Is there an IOND word? No. Is there like a G something OND word? Huh. I something OND? No. Okay, OND is okay, it's not the only forced thing. We could do IUD with an energy. That doesn't look good though either. Or we could be OUG, which also doesn't look good. Okay, so I think we need a C or an L. So let's bring in the L again. We just need a yellow in ING and a yellow and a green in OUD. LO something N. I don't know. Blown. Got it. Nice. That was tough, but I got it in 4. Sweet. Well, hopefully that was a better demonstration. Let me know how you did. And if your puzzle was different, you're probably on the default standard mode instead of standard plus or advanced. So the first one I did was advanced, then I did standard plus. I usually like to do advanced because I don't like the restrictions on repeated letters. I think it's neat to have repeated letters. All right, let's do polygonal. Hexpert is enabled. All right, so we have an 8-letter word. These 3 repeat and these 2 repeat. So if I did ING, that gives me a lot of repeats, but it also makes this like not a word. Okay. The next thought is it's a plural that ends in S. There's a lot of those in this game. So what would we want here? Some kind of consonant that could go after an S. Like a T, maybe? Test. Actually, I want to end in TES, right? Testities. Is IES at all an option? It almost works. How about ERS? Elsefers. Elspers. What if we just did ER? And what would we want here? Something that comes after R? In a long word, you can always like do something compound. That's always, when it's a compound word, it's almost impossible for me to get it because of my strategy of like thinking about what letters can come after other letters. If that's just the break in the compound word, it can be any 2 letters next to each other. And it's really hard to think of. But what about D? You've heard of divider. Have you heard of a derdider? That repeats the I. Otherwise, it would be fine. Okay, I think it is time for fillers. So my 2 go-to fillers for 8 letters, robustly and machined. They work well together. I'm going to start with machined to see if we have that E in that spot. We do not. Okay, with only IN, I am going to go with robustly. It gets us the rest of the vowels and R, S, and T, and L. It's pretty great. Okay, so we have 4 of our letters. None of them are in place. Now, how many letters total do we have? Well, this repeats twice. This repeats once. So we need to subtract 3 from 8. So there are 5 total letters. So we're missing 1 letter. It's not a vowel. This repeated letter is not an N or a T. So it's either the vowel, the O, or the I. I feel like it kind of has to be because we need to spread our vowels around. So what if I do I's all the way through here? And then we start with like IN. Or what if we end in NT, like int? And then the O would have to go here. Ooh. Okay, maybe I don't like NT then. Where do we want the O to go? Like ION? T-I-O-N. That puts the N here. Ignition. Ooh, that's a tough word. T-I-O-N is not one that I usually try as a suffix, but maybe I should add that to my repertoire. My should I say repertoire? My repertoire. Huh. There were only 3 words, and ignition was the only common one. Intimist and prepupae. Prepupae. Totally, I was so close to getting prepupae. You know, almost had that one. All right, ignition. Nice. Yeah, I thought this was a strange pattern. Well, let's do the mini. We have a double letter here, so T. I was going to say teeth, but that repeats the T as well. Why am I having trouble coming up with a word here? I mean, I could do reads. Get some good letters. There's a D. Okay. D-O-O or something? Or maybe like O-O something D? How does this word work? Do. Could it be like an ad? Like adder? No, we don't have an E. Addict without the T. Maybe odd. I really want to just add an ER at the end and be done with it, but I can't. I tested the ER. Oddly. Nice. That was tough. How many words actually match this pattern? 344. Yeah, it's one of the last common ones. I mean, all of the 5-letter patterns have a bunch of, unless it's two repeated. Those don't have that many, but it's only 1 repeated. There's always a bunch, but that's pretty small for that. All right, well, let me know how you did. Let's do Symble. I'll start with blaze. All right, we might end in E. I usually test that with rouse. We do end in E, and we got nothing else. So we still have I remaining to test. How about mince? Ooh, that's really interesting. It's all scrambled up. So it's almost a complete unscramble, but the second letter is something new. So what are we doing about that? How do we move these letters around? So we could start with C. I'm not sure if that's the best option. And then we need to use the I. So I-N-E. It's not a word unless chime is a word. Oh, chime is a word. Nice. Cool. Let's do the blind Fusele. Each guess has a twist, and the blind part is we don't know what the next twist is going to be until we guess. So for this twist, we're going to get symbol-like yellows. They're going to show up blue. So let's see if we actually get any. I'll start with stare today. Why not? All right, so what this means is this is not your typical E goes somewhere else. It's one of these other letters goes at the end. So I'm going to try A there, although I don't think it is. But because this twist, the dashed lines, I have to put a vowel there. So if I'm going to go for a word at all, that could be possible. I would have to put the A there. By the way, the twists, even if they force you to like restrict you on your guesses, it's perfectly allowed to restrict you from guessing the right answer, right? So the right answer might not have a vowel in that spot. And it's just like, oh, tough luck then. You always have that last guess with no twist on it if you need it. So you can always get the answer at the end if you need to. But I think villa works well here. Villa works well there. It's V-I-L-A. Voila. The answer is voila. Voila. It's voila. Wow. That was pretty good. If I was not forced to put the A at the end, I certainly would not have done so with all the other choices I could have put at the end. So nice. Thank you, twist. I was just talking about how the twist is not forced to be It's not forced to match the answer, but in this case it did. So awesome. All right, let's play Don't Wordle. The game is thinking of a secret word. We are trying to avoid guessing it. So I'm going to start with kayak. Nothing from kayak, so I follow up with Xylil. And then Coco. Okay. And I still haven't like thought about a good follow-up to Coco when all this is great. It seems to happen pretty often, interestingly. I mean, they're good starts for a reason. I think PP has been pretty good to me. Wow, that's all great too. This is going to be an easy one. Just don't accidentally guess the word with 571 of them left. What should I do? Is there another like good one? I'm saying digit, and honestly, I don't mind that. Wow, down to 10. I'm pretty sure I can get it though. So it goes between that. It's probably it's an ite trap word. What's a good ite trap word that wouldn't be? Let's go through the ones that aren't actually answers. White, I think, is an answer. Right certainly is. Sight certainly is. Fight is. How about height spelled this way? I think that's not on the answer list. Nice. And it was might today. Sweet. It was an ite trap word, so we could have started with an ite trap word and gotten all the way down and still not gotten might. So that's pretty fun. In fact, we can look at what was left even. Look at all these. Bite, fight, height, kite. Wow, I didn't even know Kate worked. Night, right, sight, tight, white. It's like that's way more than 6. It's always fun when it's a trap. Well, those are the games for today. Hope you enjoyed this. And if you did, then why not leave a like, subscribe, and a kind comment below.